Back to the O2 TV Game of the Week. Moments away from the finals of the Boys Millard South Invitational, Omaha Burke and Millard North, in a rematch of last year's state championship game. A great game upcoming, Jer.
Yeah, I think the players to look for here for Burke is obviously going to be Mike Preston and also John Acorn playing up front, two of the top goal scorers for that team. And for Millard North, we're going to have to watch Tony Zito, maybe Jeff Gordon, Tom Kausgaard, all very capable scorers.
Tony Moon and Jerry Vobeda here at Millard South, and Jerry, of course, filling in for Ken Archer today, who I want to go ahead and throw something in here before I forget. In case I don't get an opportunity, I'd like to be the first to congratulate Ken, who will soon be graduating from the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Of course, Ken's been one half of the tandem. He and I have been doing sports here at O2 TV for the last couple of years, so I want to be the first to congratulate him on his upcoming graduation and wish him the best of luck in the future. Way to go, Ken. It's about time. Another thing we want to throw in here, in case you hear a name that sounds familiar, there are a couple of Vobedas on this Burke soccer team, and those would be Jerry's younger brothers, Jim and Tom. Jim, one of the starters on the Burke defense. His brother Tom comes off the bench, but he's still going to do a great job in giving his unbiased and wonderful color commentary.
Oh, absolutely.
Just underway here. Preston tapping the ball back for Burke. Mentioned both these teams have actually played some tough competition here early on in the season. Millard North maybe a little bit tougher of a schedule than Burke. Burke's still undefeated and got our first whistle of the game. And a free kick out coming from Millard North.
Looks like a foul goes against Jason Tierney on an obstruction call against Tony Zito.
Zito will set up the free kick. Actually, it's going to be taken now by Matt Tim. Tim, one of the few Millard North players, as you can tell on the field, that still has hair remaining on top of the head. Most of the team decided to go with a clean-shaven look for this soccer season. Looking for a chance to defend their state title. Free kick up coming now for Burke. Jim Vobeda will play it up front. And a little something you have to tell me later about your brother, Jerry. He said that, told me last night, that if it comes down to a shootout, he doesn't want any part of it. So he's too nervous.
Yeah. They have plenty of guys to put in the shootout before him.
Good chance upcoming for Millard North, tapped away by Jim Vobeda. Down the sideline now.
Caught him off sides. Very good play by the defense.
Some of these players on both teams will be familiar names if you're a fan of high school sports here on O2 TV. A few of the Burke players, Jason Tierney, of course, played both football and basketball for the Bulldogs this past season. Also John Icorn on the basketball team as well for Millard North. Tom Kausgaard was a big part of that Millard North football team that was number one early on. First shot taken by Burke, way to the right side. Also on the Burke side, or the Millard North side rather, Tom Holland, a member of that backfield that features star quarterback Eric Crouch, will be returning for his senior year next season, and a kid that's going to be having a lot of phone calls upcoming from college recruiters. So much as the girls' game, a lot of multi-sport athletes here in this game, and that foul is going to go against number 12 John Icorn of the Burke Bulldogs. Free kick upcoming for the Mustangs. I think we can expect a pretty physical game between these two teams here.
Yeah, you got some fairly large players and probably a little bit of bad blood from last season. You may see some dirty fouls here. Hopefully they'll keep it pretty clean, have a nice game, but it would not surprise me to see a few players go off the field hurt and have a few big collisions.
Burke had an opportunity there a moment ago, but Preston and Icorn unable to work the give and go. Here comes Zito now the other way, boots it up. Kept in the zone by Jason Tierney. Ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Burke. Bulldogs, as we mentioned, 10-0 on the season. Had a close one in their semifinal win. Here comes Preston with an opportunity. Ball tapped away by the Millard North defense. Shot by John Lynn was blocked that time, and it's going to roll out of bounds and have a throw-in upcoming.
A little bit of cheap shot, I think, after the ball went out of bounds, but no call.
Tim plays it up for Millard North. Here comes Zito. We mentioned earlier the Gatorade Player of the Year last year. Mike Dean coming the other way now. Lost the ball momentarily. Ryan Haynes taken on hard by Dave Olander.
Looked like a little bit too much stabbing by a few Burke players, allowed Millard North to keep trailing down the sideline.
Felsgaard is throwing for Zito. Zito coming up with it. Nice move on the turn. Jim Vobeda comes, kicks it out of bounds. Throwing upcoming once again for Millard North. Actually, they're going to say that one went out in the corner.
Yeah, it looks like a corner kick.
Corner kick upcoming for Tony Zito in Millard North. 5 minutes into the first half of action. Zito coming in with the left foot. Plays it out in front. Up. Header. Not going to get in there. Joe Basso coming over and covering it up.
Very good save by Joe Basso. A lot of confusion there for a second. And just kept his eye on the ball and grabbed it.
Jeff Gordon was the guy that got ahead on it for Millard North. He's the leading scorer thus far in the season for the Mustangs. Zito coming, has Gordon to his left side. Eichhorn coming up from behind. Zito working against Olander. And Olander will just tap it out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say it went off Zito, so they're going to give the ball to Burke. No score early on in our boys' action. If you missed our girls' game, you missed a good one. It took overtime to decide. Teams went scoreless in regulation. Millard North ended up defeating Papillion La Vista by the final score of 2-0 on 2 goals by All-State player Kelly Lindsay in the overtime period.
Appears we have a little referee's timeout here to discuss something.
Not sure what the delay was about. Back to live action now. Obeyed to play the ball in for Burke. Zito coming up against Tierney. Ball tapped away. Tierney lost the ball back to Zito now. Obeyda coming up for Burke. Puts the boot on it, and it's going to go out of bounds. We'll have a throw-in upcoming.
Come on, North, move it down, move it down!
Millard North quickly trying to get it in. Ball taken away.
Brian Key with a nice defensive play right there.
Key gives it up to Lynn, back to Preston. Burke trying to set something up. Good defense by Millard North once again. Lynn coming over for Burke. Here comes Gordon the other way. Puts a shoulder into Olander. Gonna get called for the foul. Olander thinks he bought one there and did a pretty good acting job on that one.
Yeah, a little bit of a smile on his face.
Dave Olander now from outside. Puts it up in front. Preston going high for it off his head.
Dangerous ball.
Good job by the Millard North defense to clear.
Looked like a dangerous play. Guy had his cleats pretty high up in the air. Burke's gonna have an indirect kick coming in.
We got a card already. It's a card given to Matt Tim. That'll mean he'll have to be substituted out of the game.
Matt Tim plays the sweeper position, kind of the captain of the defense. Probably see him come right back in.
That'll bring in Eric Pearson. Pearson will go down and match up against Benda, one of the taller players on the Burke squad. Olander, and here comes Gordon the other way for Millard North, all by himself. Brings it across the middle, pass for Zito.
Jeff Lutke breaks up the play very nicely.
Lutke trying to play it out in front. Kausgaard takes it away and is tripped and takes a pretty good digger there. Actually, that was Brian Haynes. Face first into the ground. Free kick upcoming now for Millard North. Following the tripping call. Brian Hayes now setting up.
Get it in, North!
Plays it up front, off the head, and in. Looked like that was Gordon that got a head on the ball. We'll have to take a look at the replay. Over the top of the head of Joe Basso, the Burke goaltender, and so Basso, the leading goaltender of the state, gives up one early on here at the 9-minute mark.
I believe the shot was a little wide.
Well, actually, it looked like the official signaled the goal. I guess I must have missed it to the left. So no goal scored. My mistake on that. We're still scoreless then at the 10-minute mark. Burke trying to set something up here at the 10-minute mark. Here come the Mustangs back the other way. Benda taking the ball away now for Burke, coming down the far sideline. Tries to center it in front. Shot blasted, but up high by Brian Key. Goal kick upcoming now for Millard North. No score on in the game thus far. A couple of great scoring opportunities by both squads. Millard North just missing a moment ago. And Brian Key that time just going a little bit too high. And we remain scoreless. Pass up front, stabbed away by Vobeda. And here come the Bulldogs quickly the other way. Eichhorn playing the ball down in front. Preston has a chance and can't get a good shot off.
Well played by the defense there. Looked like Preston was going to get a good chance to get a quality shot on goal, and defender came back and knocked it wide.
Nice pass by Mike Dean to set up Preston for the goal opportunity. There, get a good look at Ben Butler. Butler giving up only 4 goals on the season before yesterday's game. Or I guess the game a couple days ago, rather.
Looks like Burke's going to have a corner kick opportunity here.
Of course, didn't give up any goals in regulation last time around. They won over at Millard South, 1-0 in the shootout. Corner kick now for the Bulldogs. Out in front. Tierney going up high for it. Actually, it's Vobeda that got a head on it. And it'll just be booted out of bounds by Millard North, and Burke will have a throw in. Not a bad play looking for Jason Tierney. Tierney standing about 6'3". Just a little too tall that time. Throw in by John Lynn. Tapped down the front, headed away though. And a corner kick now coming for Burke.
Burke keeping the pressure on, trying to see if they can get a ball in the net. Looks like Mike Dean taking the corner kick this time.
Here comes Dean to play it in for Burke. Out in front to the far side of the goal. The goaltender Butler goes up and takes it down for Millard North. And will punt it away. He gets off a good one. Headed away by Olander. Zito coming up with it now. Zito showing the speed. Run down by Jason Tierney. Tierney able to take the ball away.
Very well defended by Jason Tierney.
Tierney up front for Eichhorn. Ball tapped out of bounds by Brian Hayes of Millard North. So Eichhorn now at the throw in. Looking for Preston down near the goal. Preston trying to make a one-on-one move that time, lost the ball. Millard North able to clear. Hayes trying to save it. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a Burke throw in. Eichhorn quickly out. Lynn firing across. Headed up. Preston going up for it now. But Butler able to track it down. Benda that time tried to get it in for Mike Preston right in front of the goal. Didn't happen. Olander booting it now out of bounds into the crowd. And we'll have a throw-in upcoming from Millard North. Substitutions now at about the 15-minute mark. Still no score in our game.
Both teams getting opportunities to score. Both teams showing that they want to win this game.
Thrown now by Eric Pearson. Headed down by Kausgaard. Millard North able to track it down. Played up front, intended for Jeff Gordon. Ball out of play. That'll give us a chance to take a break in the action. No score between number 1 Burke and number 4 Millard North. We'll be back with the finals of the boys Millard South Invitational right after this. Stay tuned.
In the 24th century, forget about the Joneses. Try keeping up with the Jetsons. They've got a sky-rise apartment, high-tech housewares, and a warp-drive car. A turbo-maid.
A place for everything, and everything in its place.
Way-out wardrobes. 2 stellar kids, and a spacey dog.
I love you.
They're a family that's out of this world. The Jetsons.
Monday at 4 on O2 TV.
Welcome back to the O2 TV Game of the Week. Action right in front of the goal, cleared out by Olander. Another shot taken, and a goal by Tony Zito. Right after the break, Millard North comes back, gets a couple shots off. Ball came out in front loose, and Zito there to put it away with the left foot.
There's a lot of confusion with the ball going all over the place around the goal. Joe Basso did get his hand on it, but was unable to keep it across the end line.
Millard North taking a 1-0 lead. Goal by Zito at the 15:47 mark. Zito scoring his 7th goal of the year.
Come on, Millard North,
As I said before, Tony Zito, a guy to look for during the game, and showing fairly early here that he's the man you want to go to for Millard North.
So Millard North picking up the first goal of the game. Just over 15 minutes in. I have a feeling the way these teams are playing that it's not going to be the last one either.
Yeah, I would have to agree about that.
Chad Edwards keeping the ball in for Millard North. I'm actually going to say it went out of bounds off Burke. Millard North throw-in upcoming. Both teams trying to get control in the midfield. Now tap back. Dave Finken boots it up for Millard North. Millard North throwing once again, leading 1-0.
Game continues to be very physical so far. A lot of guys on the ground, a lot of bumping and shoving. So far, the referee doing a good job of keeping control of the players, making sure nothing breaks out. PJ Gerke trying to chase it down in the corner.
Olander gives a little tap out of bounds, and we're going to have a corner kick upcoming for Millard North.
Come on, North, shoot again!
Tony Zito once again to take the corner kick for Millard North. Zito responsible for the first goal of the game.
Come on, Millard North!
Zito up front once again. Headed, tapped over the top by Basso, great save.
Nice cross by Zito, nice header, and again, a nice save by Joe Basso.
Once again, that was Jeff Gordon going up high trying to put it home with a header. Basso able to get a hand of it, tapped it over the top, and now Zito will try it again from the other side.
Millard North showing that one goal obviously is not what they're going to be happy with, and keeping the pressure on Burke.
Zito plays it in front again. Shot off. Lynn able to get a foot on it. Pearson from the outside. Basso coming out, grabbing hold of it. And now we'll boot it away. Throw-in upcoming for Millard North. Substitutions coming in. Almost halfway through the first half of play here in the boys' Millard South Invitational Final. Mustangs of Millard North leading number 1 Omaha Burke by a score of 1-0. On a goal by Tony Zito.
Right now it just seems that Millard North winning the majority of the balls at midfield and taking advantage of that, and obviously getting the majority of the scoring opportunities.
Basso now to punt the ball away for Burke. Gets it up just across midfield. Tapped ahead, Preston able to control. Gives it back for Eichhorn, who lost it momentarily. Play it back. Tierney will play it up front now. Emery Thomas takes it away. Vobeda coming up hard for Burke and going to call a foul on Jim Vobeda. And a free kick upcoming for Burke, or for Millard North rather. Emery Thomas. Down off the head of Vobeda. Olander playing it up as well. Finally, Olander will clear it. Eichhorn tracking it down for the Bulldogs. Tierney now for Burke. Puts it all the way across, looking for John Lynn. That's going to get out of bounds before he can get to it. Thomas the quick throw in for Millard North. We're over halfway through the first half of play now. Mustangs with a 1-0 lead over Omaha Burke. Lynn throwing it in. Dean up to Eichhorn. Plays it across. Millard North's defense there. We're going to have a whistle. And
got a handball on Mike Dean, I believe it was.
Millard North, winners of 8 in a row. Since the season opening loss to Plain La Vista, of course. Burke riding a 10-game winning streak. They're still undefeated. And I believe now Burke one of only 2 undefeated teams left in the state at this point. Burke along with Blair, still undefeated.
Yeah, before I mentioned that I thought Millard North and Burke probably the 2 top teams in the state, but you can't leave out Blair. They have yet to be beaten, and therefore you got to keep them up in the top 2 to 3 teams in the state.
Burke an opportunity there. That was Dan Herrera going down the far side.
Just subbing in, obviously showing that he wants to get his team back on top. The two subs that just came in are brothers, Dan and David Herrera, playing on respective midfield sides. Dan playing on the left and Dave playing on the right. See if they can spark a little offense for Burke here.
Butler boots the ball away from Millard North. Gordon heads it up front. Gerke trying to run it down. Vobeda giving chase for Burke.
Go, BJ!
Vobeda able to keep it away from the goal. Olander working in the corner against Gerke. Gerke able to keep it in. Comes Kousgaard, knocked down from behind by Herrera.
Come on, that's a red!
Burke not happy with the call. Comes a free kick now by Emery Thomas.
Seems, Tony, we have a few referees behind us as well in the crowd.
It's kind of a nice atmosphere when you can get right amongst the crowd like we are sitting in the front row. And as you mentioned, everyone always thinks they know better.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say that I haven't been there myself. .16 minutes remaining in the first half. 1-0 in favor of Millard North. Goal by Tony Zito, the difference in the game thus far. Thomas running it down. Nice job of knocking the ball away by Danny Benda. Ludke playing it up front for Herrera, got taken away. It's Brad Davies. In front once again. Header tried. Joe Basso late to get there, but it's going to go wide. Ryan Small that time was the guy that almost got one to go, but Millard North still holding onto a slim 1-0 lead over Burke. We'll be back with more action of the first half of the boys' final. Millard North against Burke. Mustangs up 1-0.
Reach for the stars with the Girl Scouts. This summer, the Girl Scouts are offering all girls some great programs. Learn about astronomy, performing arts, our Western heritage, arts and crafts, careers for a day, science and technology, and so much more. At Camp Maha Day Camp, just southeast of Papillion, you'll enjoy hiking, swimming, and the outdoors. Or sign up for Camp Washati Resident Camp in southwest Iowa. All girls reach for the stars this summer with the Girl Scouts. Call the Great Plains Girl Scout Council at 393-4200 for more information.
Welcome back to the game of the week. Boys final of the Millard South Invitational. Second game of our doubleheader. Took overtime to decide the first game. Millard North's girls winning 2-0 in overtime over Papillion La Vista. Millard North's boys trying to make it a sweep for the Mustangs. As they lead Burke now by a score of 1-0. Preston coming along the outside. Outrunning Davies to the ball. Preston now working to his left side. Finally a tap away by Tim. Ludke played out in front from way outside, and that's going to clear everybody and go out of bounds. Goal kick upcoming for Millard North.
Jeff Ludke getting the start today for the injured Brad Pittak, which hasn't been seen to be a problem so far, but Brad Pittak, the usual starter at left fullback, very good player. He's young, just a sophomore, but very good. Injured his knee, I think, either in the Central game earlier last week or possibly in the prep game earlier Thursday.
We mentioned earlier both games Thursday going into the shootout. Or a whistle, and that's going to be a call against Ludke right there. Going over the top of the Millard North player. Zito to boot the ball up for Millard North. Vobeda there for Burke. And Dean plays it over to Herrera. Herrera taking down that time. Good job by number 12, Dave Nauman. First time we heard Nauman's name on the day head. Pretty good player as well for Millard North. Zito lost the ball across the touchline that time. It'll be a throw-in for Burke. 13 minutes remaining in half number 1.
Sort of a stalemate for about the last 5 minutes here. Ball, spending the majority of the time in the midfield. Both teams having the ball about equal time.
Herrera coming to the middle. Gives it up to pass in front by Benda. And nobody there for Burke. Butler coming away with it for Millard North. Ben Butler kicks it down and goes off the head of Olander. And it'll be a Millard North throw-in, deep in Burke territory. Tierney able to knock the ball away. Benda gives it up to Dean. Dean upfield for Eichhorn. Ryan Small there. Got a little help in Eichhorn. Gives Nick Kangeiser a little shove in the back there.
See the second yellow card of the game to John Eichhorn, who has to sub out. Referee doing a good job of keeping control of the players.
A little frustration that time by Eichhorn. Playing in front, Zito now with a chance against Basso. Gets a shot off wide to the right side.
Brought the ball down very well. Shot a little bit wide.
We were talking last night when we were discussing the matchups, how Zito prefers to go to the left side if he can.
Yeah, you won't see him go to his right. He's a left-footed player, and from a defensive perspective, if you can keep him going to his right, you're going to shut him down a lot better than if you allow him to go to his left and use his left foot.
Jason Tierney now will take the goal kick for Burke. Right about the 29-minute mark of the first half. Still 1-0 Millard North. Durkee can't track it down along the far sideline. There'll be a Burke throw-in once again. Talked about opponents these teams have played earlier on. As far as ranked opponents, Burke with wins over Central and Prep. Both those by scores 2-1, and of course the Prep game was a shootout. Preston making a run at it here, but it's going to be booted away by Ryan Small. Millard North, on the other hand, already holds a 3-0 overtime win over Central. They lost, of course, to Papillion. Beat a pretty good Omaha Bryan team 2-1, and also had a big shootout win over Lincoln East, down at Lincoln East. And then a win over Millard South, so I have to say the tougher schedule thus far has been on Millard North's side.
And that one loss early in the season, first game to Papillion, Millard North did have a few key players injured that I believe are back in action now.
We mentioned earlier how the girls were stacking up, and mentioned these two of the top teams, and she said, in your opinion, probably the two top teams in the state of Nebraska right now. I believe they just gave a card to one of the Herrera brothers. That's Dave Herrera.
To the enjoyment of the fans behind us. Not quite sure what it was for. He must have said something a little bit inappropriate.
Olander now at the throw-in. It's going to go off a Millard North player. And
looks like we're going to get a corner kick here. Mike Dean's going to take it.
Burke now with an opportunity to tie it up here. Less than 10 minutes to play in the first half. Millard North packing in, putting a couple players on the near post. Play down to front. Zito able to clear it away. And Jim Pobeda able to track it down for Burke. Olander will play it back to Pobeda. Gives it off to Lutke on the far side.
Smart play out of the defense, starting from the very back. then they lose it.
Again, guys are able to keep it in along the sideline, give it to Small. Small looking down, trying to thread the needle, got it to Gordon. Puts it in front. It's going to roll in front, but nobody's going to get a chance at it for Millard North.
Millard North doing a very good job of stringing passes together. There's probably 7 or 8 passes from Millard North players to Millard North players. If Burke allows them to do that, they're going to keep getting more and more scoring opportunities.
8 minutes remaining in half number 1, 1-0 our score. Obeda up to midfield. Dean takes it away for Burke. Gives it up to Preston. Nice shot by Tim, able to tap it away though. Now Zito on the outside. It's gonna roll out of bounds, and Can guys will be able to throw it in pretty easy. Very quickly now for Millard North. Bend it now the other way for Burke. Up for Icorn. Icorn can beat Tim to it, and he takes him down hard. Icorn doesn't agree with that call either. He's going to have to be careful. Already got carded once.
Didn't look too intentional there. I don't think he was going after him. I think he was just going for the ball and slipped a little. And Tim doesn't seem to be too injured as he was playing off there for a while. Pretty common in soccer though, especially if you're watching it at the professional level. Anytime players can get a rest by playing off an injury, they do that quite often.
Boot by Finken. Here comes Millard North once again. Ludke taken away momentarily, but another call against Burke.
Obstruction call on Jeff Ludke. You have to say majority of the whistles have been going against Burke today, which is probably a result of Millard North's pressure that they've been putting on Burke's defense. And if no other way, Burke's used fouling as their way of keeping Millard North out of their goal.
Isn't in front. Header tried by Cowsguard, but it's going to go wide to the goal. And with 6 minutes to play in the first half, Joe Basso will have a goal kick upcoming for Omaha Burke. It's actually going to give way to Olander, it looks like.
The wind here in the second game doesn't seem to be quite as strong or quite as much of a factor as it was, especially late in the second game.
Obeda able to tap the ball away. Zito running it down for Millard North though. Coming across, Basso coming out, and
very nice save by Joe Basso.
Hayes sending it across. Headed up high and over the top by Dave Nauman. Basso, a nice job of cutting down the angle on the shot from the outside. Thomas gets it up to Zito. Millard North coming down again. Thomas on the right side of Zito. Zito gives it up. And Obeda comes in and takes him down hard.
Shoulder-to-shoulder contacts.
Burke player down on the field as well. Looks like that's number 14, Dave Olander. Didn't really see what happened. He was trailing the play. Zito with the pass up front to Thomas, and he and Jim Obeda collided going for the ball. Clock stops with 4:09 remaining in the first half. Looks like he'll be okay.
Looks like we're gonna have a corner kick taken by Tony Zito.
Whistle starting play. Zito from the corner. Puts it out in front, headed away by Tierney. Thomas trying to get a shot off. Shoots it wide to the left side. Clock rolling. Now under 4 minutes to play in the first half. 1-0 our score in favor of Millard North. A goal by Tony Zito at the 15:47 mark. His 7th goal of the season. That's been our only score of the game. Millard North leading 1-0.
Millard North with the majority of scoring opportunities today. They've had the ball down on Burke's defensive end a lot of this half, and that's resulted in their shots and their 1 goal.
Jason Tierney puts a boot to it, gets it up across midfield line. Davies plays along the far side. Whistle and a throw-in upcoming, or actually a free kick upcoming for Millard North. Got a whistle before they cross the touchline. Zito to take the free kick now, less than 3 minutes to play in the half. Gets it up high from the outside, coming across, and John Lynn able to get a head on it for Burke. Lynn playing it up front. Bendel will give chase, but Matt Tim's going to get there first from Millard North, let it roll out of bounds. And the Mustangs will have a throw in here with 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Tierney across midfield. Finken gives it up to Nauman. Now Finken again. Along the outside, Emery Thomas giving chase. Basso coming out to cut down. Does a nice job of getting a hand on the ball. Vobeda now will clear for Omaha Burke.
Millard North still dominating the midfield. Bringing the ball down and controlling it. Stringing passes together and doing exactly what they need to do to control the game.
Davey DeHaze down the sideline and a whistle, and we're going the other way now. Herrera goes down hard, and that was Tim once again going in low and taking out Dan Herrera.
Very little time left. Burke would love to see a ball go in Millard North's net here.
1:15 remaining in the first half. Tierney from the outside, pass up front. Looking for Herrera. Dean able to come up with it. Gets a foot on it. Here's a chance. Eichhorn gets a shot off. And Butler right there to make a nice save. Ben Butler with the big save on the shot by John Eichhorn of Burke. Millard North continues to hold a 1-0 lead with less than a minute to play in the half now. Hayes plays it up front, and offsides call against Gordon.
Burke's defense does a really good job there of pulling the offsides trap, and I would say he was offsides by a good 5 or 6 yards.
30 seconds to play in the half. Jim Vobeda will put the ball in play for Burke. Tim will play it up across the midfield line. Tierney coming up. Zito clearing the way for Millard North. Here comes Thomas. Now a chance once again. Here comes Kousgaard on the outside. Gets a left-footed pass across to Thomas. Thomas coming out. Can't get a shot off. Basso out. Retreats, gets a shot off wide to the right side.
Basso a good job of defending there. It looked like a good one-on-one opportunity late in the half, and Basso comes up with a big save, and Emery gets it back and puts it a little wide.
Emery Thomas with the shot on goal going wide to the right. Millard North continues to hold a 1-0 lead as we go to the half. The number 4 Mustangs up by 1 over number 1 Burke. And we'll be back with second half action of the boys final from the Millard South Invitational right after this. Stay tuned.
Fox. Sunday at 1:30 on O2 TV.
Welcome back to the finals of the Millard South Invitational, the second half of our O2 TV Game of the Week doubleheader. Millard North leading Burke by a score of 1-0. A goal at the 15-minute mark by Tony Zito, the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in the state of Nebraska. Has the Mustangs out on top. Your thoughts on the first half, Jerry, and what each team needs to do here in the second half?
Well, for Millard North, I think they just need to do a little more of the same. They've done a great job of controlling the ball, stringing passes together. They're controlling the ball in the midfield, which is very important. They've gotten the majority of the scoring opportunities. I have them down unofficially having 11 shots. And for Burke, maybe the wind will help a little bit this half. They just need to, seems like they just need to stay a little calmer, not play quite as physical as they've had so far, and string passes together themselves and try and win the midfield. And that's going to be the key to their success. Try and get the ball up front to John Eichhorn and Mike Preston.
Andy Vondra is checked into the game for Burke. Tried to get a shot off there, didn't really get much on it. Butler to kick the ball away now for Millard North. Mustangs haven't given up a goal in their last two games. Of course, they had the scoreless game that went to the shootout with Millard South just 2 nights ago, and just before that, Eichhorn giving chase that time for Burke, trying to get ahead on the ball. Just before the game against Millard South. Millard North shutting out Gross in the game before that by the final score of 7-0. So they've been playing some good defense lately.
Already been very stubborn this game, Burke trying to get through and not getting a whole lot of shots. I have him down. I was only having 5 in the first half. Already had another 2 this half.
Eichhorn taken out that time by Dave Finken. Finken coming under the legs.
What was Dave Finken?
Pretty funny. You've been waiting all game to do that?
Actually, it just came to me.
Off the head of Vondra. Eichhorn chasing it down for Burke.
Gets away with a little push, gets the ball across.
Once again, Butler coming in, scooping it up for Millard North.
Come on, Tom, put one in, Tom.
Now we'll boot the ball away. So Burke getting a couple opportunities here early on. Obeda giving chase. Throwing up coming from Millard North now. Told you about the boys top 10, or girls top 10 rather, earlier. Running through the boys real quick. Burke and Blair, undefeated. Lincoln Southeast was undefeated coming into this week, and I believe they lost their first game of the season earlier in the week. Obeda heading the ball away from Zito. Now out of bounds off Vondra. Millard North coming in at number 4, the highest ranked of teams of the loss. Millard South was number 5 before the loss, just a couple nights ago. Lincoln East at 6, Central at 7. There are only 2 losses coming to these 2 teams there. Papillion, a team you've seen here on the Game of the Week the last couple weeks. At number 8, North Platte and Creighton Prep was in this tournament here as well. rounding out the top 10 this past week, according to the Omaha World Herald. Preston stealing the ball at midfield and now taking it back away by Finken, who then goes ahead and boots it up and out of bounds. Millard North crowd getting into the game now. Their team holding a 1-0 lead. Olander to the throw-in for Burke. Dean unhappy with himself that time as he kicked it out of bounds. Ryan Small, the throw-in now for Millard North. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. A 1-0 lead for the Mustangs. Mentioned earlier in the game, a rematch of last year's state championship game. Game that went into overtime, and Millard North eventually won by the score of 3-2. Happy fans here have the clapping toys going here along the sideline. Jason Tierney with the ball now for Omaha Burke. Comes across the midfield stripe. Boots it up front. Finken gets a foot on it, knocks it down, takes it away. Up to Zito now, and here comes Millard North. Pass up front for Kalsgaard. Jim Fobeta giving chase for Burke, and Basso comes out, kicks it away, and now has to retreat quickly. A Small able to recover and get the ball back for Millard North before it's booted out of bounds by VJ Goff. Small with the throw-in now for Millard North. Gets in the middle, headed away by Volbeda. Whistling the call against Millard North for a push.
Strangest thing about Volbeda being as short as he is, he's very good at getting his head on the ball. Ball's coming through the middle.
Zito giving it up to Gordon along the right side. Lutke giving chase. Plays it up front, a little too far over the top. Kalsgaard with a nice move, gets a shot off. Basso there, and makes a nice save along the near post. Another nice job by Joe Basso, cutting down the angle, getting a hand on it. Now Emery Thomas will set up for the corner kick for the Mustangs of Millard North. Passes up. Small going up for it. Tierney got a head on it and cleared out momentarily by Vondra for Omaha Burke. Does a nice job again. Millard North will retreat and set up one more time. Tim punching it out of bounds. Jason Tierney. Across now, here comes Dean. Burke rather looking for Preston into the Millard North zone. Butler coming up with it now. 8 minutes into the second half of play, a 1-0 game. Millard North leading Omaha Burke. Burke, the #1 team in the state at this point, at 10-0. Finds itself in a rare situation, being behind in a game. Substitutes coming in the game now.
Come on, Jeffrey. Come up, Jeff. Go, come on.
Vonder with the throw in for Burke. Zito getting the ball now for Millard North. Puts it down the far sideline. Vobeda coming up. Gives it off to Josh Neal, who just checked into the lineup. Finds Tierney in the center field. Tierney off to Vondra on the left side. Tim coming up for Millard North. Now Vondra plays it out in front. Finken gets ahead on it. Ludke now for Burke. Got through there, and Eichhorn's the one taken down this time by Ryan Small, and free kick for Burke. Tried to do it quick. Preston almost got a shot off. Now coming the other way, and that one's blasted clear out of the field of play by Key. Brian Key with 5 goals, 5 assists on the year, and going for another one there, and that time he got a little too underneath it.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had very good footing on that, leaning to his left and kind of shanked it.
Ten minutes into the second half of play. Still a 1-0 Millard North lead. Ben Butler to boot the ball away from Millard North. This time he'll just tap it short to Finken. Picking up, tapped out by Gordon, and here we go again. Hey, ball boy with nice hustle. Coming right at you, Jer. Almost had a chance to show the mobility there, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd hate to get out there again and have to show these youngsters how to play the game.
I'm sure they're all shaking. Key down the left side now. Keeps it alive in the corner. Gets it across, but nobody there for Burke. Gordon off the head up front. Vobeda coming up with it. Pass it off to Vondra, who keeps it in bounds along the near side. Nice job by Matt Tim to get a foot on it, keep it in, and Finken will have to track it down, and he's just going to knock it out of bounds. Millard North will have a chance to reset the defense as Burke gets ready for the throw-in. Eichhorn. Off the back of Gordon that time, and once again, Millard North content to just clear the ball and give Burke another throw-in. Tierney had to get rid of it quickly as Tony Zito was coming up with it. Neal running it down on the far side, lost the ball to Thomas. Thomas up front, Zito trying to lead the break now for Millard North. Good footwork. So tried to get around Vobeda. Small punches it up front for Thomas. Vobeda getting ahead on it. Small. This pass tapped away. We're going to have a whistle. Going to have a push against Jeff Ludke. Finken now for Millard North. Gets out in front. Vobeda gets a foot on it. Clears the way. Eichhorn now. Puts it up for Preston. Preston, nice job of stopping the ball. Goes to his right now. Davies that time.
Nice pass to Benda, but a little too far.
Butler coming out of goal to grab the ball for Millard North. We're 13 minutes into the second half of play. No scoring here in period number 2. Lone goal of the game belongs to Gatorade Player of the Year, Tony Zito. 15 minutes into the first half. Tierney that time came up, took the ball away from Zito. Eichhorn lost the ball as Finken came up. Now Gordon along the sideline for Millard North. Just puts it up from the outside. Cowsgard was coming in, but Basso came up and snatched it out of the air before he had a chance to get ahead on it. Lynn now plays it along the far side for Burke. A lot of action here in the second half, but not too many shots on goal, Jer.
Yeah, that's true. Most of the play, again, seen in the midfield. Nobody really in the second half has shown a dominance. Both teams at certain times have been controlling the ball well. It's been nice play, stringing passes together, but hasn't really led to many shots.
Play still physical, but maybe not at the level it was in the first half either.
Correct. I think the referee giving a few cards, calm the players down a little. Nobody wanted to, to be ejected. And
Ryan Small plays the ball back to Matt Tim for Millard North. 26 minutes remaining in our game, the championship game of the Millard South Invitational. Millard North trying to join the boys team trying to join the girls team as champions of the Millard South Invitational. The girls won the earlier championship by a 2-0 victory in overtime over a tough team from Papillion La Vista. Papillion coming out and showing it's ready to join the upper echelon of girls soccer here this season. Ubeda over to Tierney for Burke. Ludke taken down on the play by Chad Edwards.
Two guys on the ball, I can understand how they do that. You got better eyes than I got.
Jason Tierney now with the free kick for Burke. Cito comes back, tracks it down for Millard North. Nice job of taking it away by Brian Key. Key taking it away from Finken. Pass across. Vondra tries to go with the left foot and didn't get a very good shot off.
no, it looked to me like it was a great opportunity for him to use his right foot and get a great shot off, and attempted the left and just didn't quite hit, strike the ball the way that he had hoped, and easy save for Ben Butler.
Neal in front now. Here comes Preston. Good chance for Burke. Header by Eichhorn, and they tie it up at 1 apiece. John Eichhorn going parallel to the ground that time, taking the shot by Preston. Good save by Butler on the first shot, but out of position, and we'll see it once again right here. Neal plays it across and eventually ends up to Mike Preston right here. Gets a shot off Butler. Got a leg on it.
Got to give a lot of credit to Mike Preston. He, the one that made that play, and Eichhorn was the fortunate one that found himself in the right place at the right time. Heads it in.
That goal coming 16 minutes and 2 seconds into the second half, so quick addition, the official time, 56:02. Game time. Eichhorn picking up his 11th goal of the season.
Again, we told you the players to watch before the game started. Tony Zito from Millard North and John Eichhorn and Mike Preston for Burke, and those are the guys that have been involved in the scoring today.
Zito now a chance to set Millard North up with a chance to take the lead back. 1-1 our score now. Zito's kick hits the upright. The practice football field, of course, here as well. And
I don't think that's quite what he had planned, but, left footed, swinging in like that. I'm sure Tony will get plenty more chances today to shine.
23 minutes of game time left. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Jason Tierney will take the goal kick now for Burke. Nelson tries to knock it down. We have a whistle and free kick upcoming for Burke. Been a pretty nice day here today. The wind's been blowing a little bit, but mostly sunny.
Yeah.
Pretty good day for soccer.
It's allowed the field to dry out a lot more. When we got here, a little before noon today, we were on the field and it was a little wet and looked like the players are going to have some trouble with their footing, and there was minimal trouble for the girls in the first game, and you've seen a few players slipping here and there in this game now, but for the most part it hasn't been a factor.
Preston has the ball tapped away by Finken. Herrera trying to track down on the left side now, entering back into the Burke lineup. Here comes Millard North again. Lynn able to get a foot on it for Omaha Burke. Keeps it in bounds along the side. comes Miller North back the other way. Lynn takes it back for Burke. Key trying to run around, got around Zito that time.
Brian Key's done a very good job of individually controlling the ball and beating defenders one-on-one, dishing the ball off to his players.
Tierney comes up, keeps it in the zone for Burke. Olander back to Benda. Over to Tierney, who lost the ball. Karsgaard running over, getting a foot on it for Millard North, and he comes away with it. Up for Small now. Millard North trying to get a break. Small working against Vobeda, and Vobeda able to head him off.
A little bit of a cheap shot there. Vobeda still down on the ground, but I'm sure he's ready to get back up.
Free kick upcoming for Burke now after the foul against Millard North. Vobeda going down pretty hard in a collision from Small. Almost halfway through the second half of play. Score tied at 1 apiece. Goal by Zito for Millard North. A goal here in the second half by John Eichhorn of Burke. They tied it back up, and we have a handball called.
He thought for a second he was going to get away with it. Referee raised his flag, and it was called. You could see the look on John's face. He was kind of smiling, thinking that, you know, with that late whistle, that got away with it.
Then played it up for Benda. Millard North taking control once again. Past the halfway point now in the second half. Zito has the ball taken away by Jason Tierney. Going to be a Millard North throw-in. Timeout for substitutes. Burke able to tie it up on the goal by Eichhorn. We're tied at 1 apiece. 19.5 minutes left to play in our game of the week. Stay tuned.
It's simply the best any way you slice it at both La Casa locations. Dine relaxed at the original La Casa Pizzeria. Go casual at La Casa West. Carry out that famous La Casa pizza or any other made-from-scratch Italian specialty on the menu. The choices are yours at La Casa, and you're going to love every one of them. Just look for Pepe and his mandolin, and you'll know you're at the right place. La Casa Pizzeria, 45th and Leavenworth, or La Casa West, 82nd and Grover. La Casa, simply the best any way you slice it.
Back to live action of the game of the week. Burke and Millard North, a rematch of last year's state championship game, tied 1 apiece. Here in the finals of the Millard South Invitational. Boys game every bit as exciting as our girls game, which went overtime earlier, Millard North winning. Millard North boys had a 1-0 lead at halftime, but Burke able to tie it up here in the second half.
Looks like Burke's done a little bit more of what I thought they needed to do coming into the second half, control the ball, string passes together, and win the midfield. And they've spent a lot of time down in Millard North's end this half.
Zito the pass to Emery Thomas. Thomas coming up, gives it off to Karsgaard, who lost it momentarily. Got a whistle and a call against Herrera.
Put it in! Put it in! Come on, Eddie!
Tierney booting the ball away. That's going to get in somebody's backyard across the way. We saw him come recruit a couple of ball chasers earlier before the game. I wonder who's going to get the honor of crawling over the fence to get that one. Zito with a nice move, had the ball taken away by Benda. Herrera playing it up front for Preston. Preston, if he can get to it, has the numbers going with him. Boots it across
Nice
the middle
ball
for
to
Herrera. Herrera keeping it alive, plays it up in the air. Got a whistle, and I think they're going to call a handball against Herrera. He may have got that one actually with his bicep, it looked like.
He went ahead and got a yellow card for kicking the ball away.
And he's going to get a red card too. He'll be done for the day. Brother there trying to stick up for him, so Dave Herrera.
Seems a little quick to be dishing out red cards for a very minuscule foul, but he may have said something or did something that the ref decided that
Dave Herrera still arguing his brother's case. Dan Herrera, the guy that scored the only goal the other day for Burke against Creighton Prep.
Looks like the referee's going over to talk to Coach Roland Monroe to explain to him what he decided on the red card. Roland's been known in the past to be a very excitable coach. I'm sure he didn't think too kindly to having one of his players being ejected from the game, especially for what seemed to not be that big of a deal. But on the other hand, the referee does need to have control of the players, regardless of whether they're out of control physically or their mouths are getting the best of them.
So a stoppage in action. Even if Monroe is not happy with the call, he's forced to live with it at this time. Gives us a chance to reset things for you. 17:34 exactly remaining on the clock here. Dan Herrera just given the boot from the game by the official. Score tied at 1 apiece. Now the official talking to Mike Preston, one of the team captains for Omaha Burke.
The discussion here, I believe, is whether or not Herrera was given 2 yellow cards, which in high school is basically called the pink card rule, where you're allowed to sub in an 11th player. But I believe here the referee is going to tell them that the red card was not 2 yellow cards, and they're going to have to bring a player off and be short a player for the rest of the game. However, they're still discussing it, and I think the Burke players are going to try and get the best of the referee. Looks like Preston's come off the field and well, crowd behind us is as confused as we are about the referee's decision of whether or not a player has to come off the field or not. And all it comes down to whether or not he gave him the yellow card originally, then he came out with the red. If he gave him 2 yellows, which equals the red, they are allowed to sub in another player in high school soccer. But if it was just a straight up red card, then Burke is going to have to take a player off the field and play short for the rest of the game. I believe that pink card rule is something that they just instituted this last season, which I believe is a good rule, especially for high school soccer.
So Jeff Lukey will go off. And Burke will be a man short for the rest of the game, so it must have been a red card, you're right. Thomas now plays it across the middle. Burke able to keep the ball away. Eichhorn gets it up to Preston. And now Finken coming it away from Millard North. So after the big break in the action, we're back underway, tied 1-1, 17 minutes left in the game. Because of the red card to Dan Herrera, Burke will be playing one man short.
You can see this as being a major factor in the outcome of the game. Millard North, who is already, they're already playing very well, but now they have a one-man advantage. They can, if they'd like, bring an extra player up on offense and really have the numbers for the rest of the match.
Gordon playing the ball across. They're going to say it crossed the end line first. So goal kick upcoming for Burke. mentioned earlier this game a rematch of last year's state championship, and that revenge could be on the mind of the Burke Bulldogs. Losing in overtime last year for the state title to Millard North. Of course, Millard North wants to go ahead and establish themselves as a team to beat once again this year. Zito coming along the far sideline now. Tapped away by Benda. Now Eichhorn for Omaha Burke. Looking up for Preston, but Finken able to kick it away. Now pass down for Herrera, gets over the head of Tim. And actually headed away from his own goalie.
Looks like we should have a corner kick here. Burke trying to get a foul, but the referee not buying it.
Eric Pearson that time actually headed the ball off his own goaltender's head, which could have been dangerous if Burke could have got a player down there, but Herrera, the only man in the area, was run off the pass. As you mentioned, a corner kick upcoming for the Burke Bulldogs.
Looks like Butler's a little bit sore getting up after that collision with his own player.
Just under 15 minutes to play. A corner kick upcoming for Burke now. Brian Key to do the honors for Burke. Gets it up in front. Right into the hands of the waiting goaltender, Butler. Olander able to keep the ball in bounds now for Burke. Nice job of taking it away by Gordon. Good play. Here comes Zito up across. He's going to be bumped into from behind by Eichhorn. Whistling a foul call, and Zito gets up with a grin on his face. Zito around Eichhorn. Coming down the near side now. Going all the way to the corner. And taken out hard by Olander. And I believed they just gave a card to Olander. What was the sign by the official on the near side, Jer?
I believe he was just calling the foul and calling for a card to be given. And the referee came over and did the honors and threw up the yellow. And Dave's going to have to go ahead and sit out for a little while. And looks like Jeff Lutke came back in to play defense. Burke's going to need to be a little careful on those very hard fouls. They'd hate to have another person have to be ejected from the game and be 2 players short. And that is definitely not the way to defend Tony Zito, is come flying at him, because as skilled as he is, he'll just go right around you.
Gordon going up high. That time couldn't get a head on it. It did go off of Jason Tierney, so we'll try it once again from the other side. This time it'll be Emery Thomas taking the corner kick. 13.5 minutes to go. Millard North looking for the lead. Thomas's kick up front. Basso going up high and making the save. Actually, he may be a little shaken up too.
Good position, Jeff.
Boots it down. Herrera going up high for it down around midfield. The Millard North player got hit in the eye on the play. It's still down. I remember whistling the stoppage of play. That's going to be Eric Pearson. With the injury to Pearson, we'll take a quick timeout. 13:06 remaining in the game. 1-1 our score between Millard North and Burke. Back with the final 13 minutes of the Millard South Invitational Final. Right for this. Stay tuned.
Buying designer and brand name fashions for you and your family can be affordable when you shop at Deja Vu. You'll find affordable fashions for mom, dad, baby, and children of all ages. Deja Vu also carries toys, infant furniture, and accessories. Everything you need for your child. Styles you like, designer brand name fashions, affordable prices. All at the unique consignment boutique. Deja Vu and Deja Vu 2, the Children's Edition, 246 North 114th Street.
Jeff Gordon's pass in front of the net. Cleared away by Omaha Burke. Back to live action. Under 13 minutes to go here in the boys' final of the Millard South Invitational. 1-1 our score between Millard North and Omaha Burke. Matchup of two of the top teams in the state. Defending champions Millard North looking to take the lead here. The corner kick by Emery Thomas. Basso coming out. And Burke able to clear the ball away once again. Both goaltenders, Ben Butler for Millard North and Joe Basso for Omaha Burke, playing quite a game. Millard North with a throw-in. Jim Vobeda able to head the ball out of there. Vobeda comes up and boots the ball across midfield.
Butler's got plenty of room to come out, play the ball up to Tim.
Small has the ball taken away by Benda. Benda up to Tierney now. Goes to the outside for Key, who can't keep the ball in bounds along the near touchline. Luke Key taking down that time whistle. Call's going to go against Jeff Gordon.
Looked like a pretty clean tackle to me. The referee decided that too much body was involved in that takedown, and he went ahead and awarded Burke a free kick.
Benda inside. Takes the pass back from Mycorn. Now Preston trying to get a shot off, goes down in front of the net, and Millard North able to clear. Lynn trying to keep it in for Burke. Keep playing it up, gives it back to Lynn. On the far sideline, Preston with a chance now as it comes across, stops the ball, puts it by Finken, go in front, and Key almost got a shot off. Preston able to track it down. Lukey whiffs on the shot. Now here comes Tony Zito the other way from Millard North. Run off the ball by Benda momentarily. Able to track it back down. This time goes down.
Nice
and Benda with the ball now for Burke.
Very nice defensive play on Benda. One-on-one effort.
Thomas coming up hard that time to take the ball away. Both teams sensing an opportunity for a win here. Just over 10 minutes left to play. Tie score, 1 apiece. Thinking up to Small. Down the sideline to Jeff Gordon. Gordon will play the ball in front, but Jason Tierney there take care of business for Burke. Zito able to come up and take it away though. Chance for Millard North. Zito pass over. Cowsguard's got a chance. Shot by Basso and a score! Tom Cowsguard, number 9 on the season. And Millard North has jumped back on top. 9:50 remaining in the game. The Mustangs lead 2-1.
Yeah, it was a nice pass getting the ball over to Cowsguard. And
you see it again right here.
Basso just reacts a little late, and the ball gets right underneath him. I'm sure he'd love to get that chance back.
Millard North now with a 2-1 lead. I mentioned that the 9th of the season for Cowsguard. What could be eventually the game winner for Millard North. They have a 2-1 lead. Now less than 10 minutes to play, and Burke, who fought back from a 1-0 deficit earlier on, find themselves in that position once again.
Come on, North, do it again!
So Cowsguard in the 70th minute, giving Millard North the lead back.
What Burke needs to do here is not allow themselves to get down after letting that goal, and put the ball down on the other end and do what they can to get some good scoring opportunities and put the ball in the net. For Millard North, they just need to control the ball in the midfield and keep the ball out of their defensive end and not allow Burke to get anything cheap.
Butler booting the ball away from Millard North. A couple Millard North players collided that time. Burke with a chance. Eichhorn playing it across to Preston, who lays the ball in front. A chance. Shot won't go. Second shot, and they're going to call it they're calling it a goal. They say it crossed the midline. Actually, I never did see a whistle from the thing. Burke thinks they got one.
What I believe happened is one of the Millard North players used his hands, which wasn't the goalie, to stop the goal. Maybe we can get a replay here. It looked like one of the Millard North players used his hands to stop the goal, where
see it again right here.
In that situation, the referee.
Preston heads the ball across. There was the original shot. Yeah, you're right.
And I think in that situation, the referee has a chance to either give I think he has the opportunity to award them the goal straight up, but I think here he's going to give him a penalty shot, which in most cases is just as good as a goal.
We'll see what the call is. So
either way, Millard North very fortunate, that they didn't just give him the goal right off.
Looks like it is going to be a penalty kick, and it'll be.
Looks like Mike Preston.
Preston, leading scorer in the state. Definitely the guy you want right here if you're Burke. Chance to tie it up at 2 apiece. 8:46 remaining in the game. Preston against Butler. Preston shot, and he's going to make it easily.
Butler doesn't even have a chance at it. Doesn't even have to go for it.
So Preston ties the score up at 2 apiece. Nice job by Burke answering back, putting the pressure on. Ben Butler down there had a chance for the rebound shot. The shot actually ended up being played by a Millard North defender. It was by Josh Neal. Neal off the Mike Dean miss.
So Preston can pretty much thank Neal for the goal afterwards.
He sure can.
Burke had a nice little parade down the sideline in front of the fans for everybody's enjoyment.
Come on, Millard North.
So 1 minute and 5 seconds after the Millard North goal to take the lead. Burke comes right back. Preston scoring on the penalty kick. And we're tied up at 2 apiece. Zito across the middle, and Basso able to go up and make the save for Burke. Burke still playing a man down after the red card given to Dan Herrera.
Nice one. Come on. Come on,
Eichhorn taps it back to Lutke. Back up to John Eichhorn. Nice job by Finken coming up to take it away from Millard North. Plays it down the sideline. Gordon giving chase, but Tierney's going to get there first for Burke. Actually, Basso trying to dive for it, and I believe they're going to award the penalty kick to Millard North.
Do you bring this for people in the audience, maybe?
There's not enough tape there.
Yeah, not to cover my mouth.
Come on, Zito in the net!
Tony Zito now. Corner kick up coming from Millard North. Chance to take the lead back. Plays it up in front. A little wide this time. Tapped away by Dean. Able to head it out of there.
Preston up by himself. Plays it back to Neal.
Neal down in front. Preston giving chase. Millard North wanted an offsides call against Preston. They're not going to get it. Headed back up front. Josh Neal going along the sideline, keeps it in play. Millard North trying to clear the ball out. Key tracking it down now for Burke. Preston, nice move, gets a shot out from way outside. Now it's going to be too high.
Good time to take a shot. He didn't have anybody on him. Sees that Butler's a little bit out, off his line, and just a little bit too high.
6.5 minutes to play. 2-2 our score.
Go, Mustang! Come on!
Ben Butler now, the goal kick for Millard North. Key able to take it back for Burke. Zito coming up, making a nice play. Only has Jim Poveda to beat. Poveda doing a nice job getting back on defense, allowing Burke to set something up. Zito going to the right side. Now back to the left. going one against the whole Burke defense, and finally gets a pass off, and they're going to have an offsides call. Great ball control by Tony Zito, and he shows you why he was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year.
Right there, the only thing I could say is maybe he had 1 or 2 touches too many. He did a great job of fending the defense off, but as you can see, resulted in an offsides call, and what looked like it was going to be a great opportunity ended up being nothing.
Tierney to take the goal kick for Burke. Plays it up across midfield. Headed up, and now Benda has a chance.
Good defensive effort.
Nice job by number 12, Dave Nauman. Lutke keeps it in. And Lutke checking it down once again. Free kick again for Burke. Tierney will set it up. Less than 5.5 to play, a 2-2 score.
Come on, Jeff, get one, Jeff.
Tierney from way outside. Going up and tapped away by Brad Davies. So we'll have a corner kick upcoming now for Omaha Burke. Bulldogs with an opportunity now. Mike Dean setting up for the corner kick. Dean's kick out in front. Preston goes up for the header. Key gets a couple shots off. Actually, that one went. The second one actually hit Preston. It's going to roll out, and Millard North will have a chance to kick the ball away now. 4:19 and counting remaining in the game. Both teams looking for one more scoring opportunity here to possibly get the game winner. Overtime, as we mentioned before, has been the flavor for both the boys and the girls tournament. Both guys' games. The semifinals went to the shootout. Beta hitting the ball out of bounds. And of course, our girls' final went into overtime today. Gordon plays it up front. Basso coming out of goal to get it.
Basso doing a great job of coming off his line when he sees that he can get there before the offensive player, and ends up with getting the ball before anybody else can.
Take it from him, North! Come on, Chad!
Benda plays it across to Dean, looking to pass the ball up front. Millard North, a great job of knocking away. Benda again, this time it's booted out there by Chad Edwards. Beta plays it up. Gordon, the header up front. Looking to get the ball to Zito. Then Tierney just kicks it away along the near sideline. Dave Finken to throw the ball in. Game clock now under 3 minutes. Now Burke will have to throw. Final opportunities here for both squads in regulation.
I don't think either team here is content with just going into regulation and with the tie. I think both of them want to get a final goal in the last 2.5 minutes here and end this game before it has to go into overtime.
Lutke up to take the ball away for Burke. Dean coming across, gets it out. Benda trying to track it down, does a nice job keeping it in bounds. Icorn along the side, taken down. Whistling a call against Millard North. And Icorn's still down.
Looks like he may have a cramp. He's pulling on those toes. It usually means he's got a cramp in his calves.
Less than 2 minutes to play now. Clock still running. There you see Icorn.
John might want to get up and join his team for the last 2 minutes of the game here.
Jim Vobeda will take the free kick. Boots it out in front. Ball got away. Preston with a chance. Gets a shot off. It goes off Edwards. Icorn able to track it down. Trying to keep it in bounds. Vobeda up now. Puts the pass in front. Nobody there for Burke. Actually headed by Millard North in front of the goal. It's pretty dangerous. Bobeda trying to get a shot off. Gets in the middle. Nice job of playing it away. And a hard collision between him and Finken. Ball out of bounds. A throw in now upcoming for Burke. Throwing it in the corner for Eichhorn. Gets it into Dean. Whistle and the call is going to go against.
Looks like an obstruction call going against Millard North.
Less than a minute to play. Clock rolling, 50 seconds and counting. Burke with a chance here. It'll be Benda. Danny Benda with 40 seconds to play. Plays it in front. Going up high for it is Burke. Tierney had a chance and they get a goal! Burke scoring with less than a minute to play. 32 seconds left.
A lot of confusion around the goal. A lot of players had a touch. Maybe we get a little.
Tierney had a shot at it. He may even been the guy that came up with it eventually. Let's take another look at it. Here you see the pass by Benda in there.
Butler got his hand a couple times on the ball. Just couldn't hold on to it. Burke kind of fortunate to get the ball into the net. But I'm sure that they will gladly take that.
32 seconds remaining in the game. Burke takes a 3-2 lead.
Kind of ironic, but it's 3-2, also the same score as the state finals last year with Millard North coming on top.
Come on, fast Eddie!
Got to be depressing for Millard North right about this time. They led pretty much the entire game. Burke always having to come from behind, and now Millard North trying to make one opportunity. They're sending everybody at once. Ludke goes down hard, pass across the middle, headed away by Olander. Ludke trying to clear the ball for Burke. It's going to roll out of bounds, 20 seconds to play. Small quickly to throw it in. Looking deep, over the top. Gordon trying to get it. Shot opportunity almost gotten there. Not coming away. Zito, the guy you don't want to have the ball if you're Burke. Blasts it wide to the far side, and that's going to let the clock expire. Burke goes on to win by the final score of 3-2. Wow, what an ending.
Burke celebrates after what I would have to call a very fortunate victory. A little bit of bad blood afterwards.
Basso and Zito looked like going at it. Basso now trying to get Olander away, and Zito still wants a part of him.
Zito, a very, very excitable player. He's a little guy, but if you get in his face, I know that he'll definitely give it back to you.
Well, that's the end of the Millard South invite. Final score once again, Burke 3, Millard North 2, and what an exciting finish. Jerry and I will be back up